One of my favourite cricketers from the West Indies in the late 80s and 90s was this man behind me. Yes, Keith Arthurton. Of course, he often lived in the shadow of Brian Charles Lara, and you can sort of understand why, given Brian was one of the greatest of all times. But Keith Arthurton, his natural ability both in the field with his little left arm darters, and of course his batting was sensational. Here in the first test in the summer of 1992-93 against the Aussies, he made a magnificent century at the Gabba with stroke play not unlike this. Look at that through cover. Let's take a look at extended highlights of this magnificent innings.
Keith Lloyd Thomas Arthurton, age 27, is the new batsman. 7 test matches. That's a lovely shot. Beautiful straight dive by Arthurton. Don't bother chasing that one. Into the fence it goes for 4, so he's off the mark with a 4. Beautiful shot that was, slightly over pitched.
That's a great shot. Didn't pick out the fieldsman on that occasion.
We're seeing another change in bowling. The spin twins will be in operation. Alan Border coming on from the Stanley Street end. Keith Arthurton decides that he likes what he sees, and that's 6.
Well, that's one way of breaking the shackles. And if there is some rough there for Alan Border, it certainly hasn't crossed Keith Arthurton's mind. Opens his shoulders, hits the ball beautifully straight down the ground.
And there's no one at third man. And that's 4 runs to Keith Arthurton.
Showing so much skill. It's in the air, but it's safe. Keith Arthurton brought up his 50 with that last boundary.
And he's got 1,000 of those away from the West Indies. Once played straight down the ground and into the fence it goes, so yet another boundary.
He's a beautiful driver, Keith Arthurton. Full face of the bat.
Excellent shot. That's one area where Arthurton has really improved his game. His placement is much better than when he was out here during the World Cup. Lovely shot again. Square drive, and that takes him into the 90s.
There he goes. That is a magnificent century by Keith Arthurton. He's delighted, and rightly so. That could be a match-winning 100. His first test century made under enormous pressure.
No wonder he's smiling, and for every man who plays test cricket, there is always this magical moment that they dream of. That first test 100, his teammates are delighted, and no wonder he's brought them well back into the game. West Indies have prospered ever since Keith Arthurton came to the crease. He's played some fantastic shots in that innings. He's played with great authority, great concentration. Only recently, in the last half hour or so, last hour of plays, he started to look for the mark and lost his composure slightly, but now he's got there. It's very important for the West Indies that he keeps his head and carries on.
It's a good shot. Really does time those drives very well. Beautifully in position, no great effort there. Caressed the ball through the covers.
I must say, I've been very, very impressed with Keith Arthurton during this innings.
It'll be up to 150, and what a way to do it. A magnificent on drive. Superb 152 by Keith Arthurton on debut against Australia. A magnificent performance.